Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby. This is a day in the life of a mobile mechanic, and you join me on a very wet, miserable day. I'm not in the van, I'm just in a Nissan Micra I was meant to do a clutch on today, but it is absolutely minging out, so I'm picking it up and driving it to the unit. It is still drivable, it's just very, very heavy. So we're doing a clutch before it needs doing, before it breaks down. And it is a bit of a hassle because this car is half an hour from my unit. So that means half an hour here, half an hour back again to drop it off, and then a half an hour back. So that's 2 hours of just driving about. But I'll be dry. We've also got a sump reseal, a radio code that is locked, and a door lock warning sign to sort out. So I'll see you in a nice dry unit. And this is one of the faults. So the driver's door is closed, but it's showing it's open. And if I open the passenger door, it shows it's open. That side's working okay. And when I put the indicator on, it all goes a bit mad. Alright, I thought I'd tackle this radio first, just get this out. Just get any codes that might need sending off to the dealer. Because I think there's a few different variations. So this whole cover just pulls forward from the top. So I'm going to send him some of these details now, and hopefully we can get a code and get that all tuned in basically. Right, whilst we wait for the radio code to come back, I've got the door card off, so we're going to get in here and get this door lock out. So I've managed to peel back the protective film and keep that all in one, so that will stick back nicely. And all we have to do is get the glass raised, take some nuts and bolts out, and hopefully it should slide out this way. Right, so half of the lock, or the lock, is out, but I've disconnected it from the handle that goes up there, and then it just goes into the back of the handle up there. So what you got to do is, there's a little Torx 30 just in there, and that comes around that side, and that goes into the lock. And then I believe you've just got to pull this handle out of this gap. I'll need to maybe do it with two hands. Oh, there we go. In here should be the cable that we need to release somehow. Right, little update with the radio. So you've got to put in the radio code wrong 3 times, and then it comes up with the serial number, and it's locked for 57 minutes. Now you've got to keep the ignition on for that timer to go down, because I have just switched it off like for 20 minutes. It's only gone down 3 minutes. So I have got the radio code for it. They've sent me it through. So once 57 minutes is up, I can give that a go. And then hopefully she can have a radio and her sat nav back, because she said she had a flat battery, and yeah, that's when it went. So she's been without a radio for a little while, so hopefully we can get that back on track for her. Right, let's finish off this door lock, and then all we've got to do is the clutch and the sump reseal. And that is it out, the whole bloody door mechanism, just because of where this is located. So just pops out there, pops out the little joint, but that sits flush against the door, so you're never getting that out and back in again. We've got a little visitor today. Hello, mate. Hello. Oh, it's a tough life, isn't it, mate? Somebody has to live it. Little piggy. Right, moment of truth. That's been an hour.
Came under scrutiny at the National Farmers Union conference yesterday. Farmers.
Right, that is 2 faults fixed. We've got the door open. We've got the door closed. Happy days. Obviously the radio works, as we've seen, and she did actually tell me about if I've got time to look at the boot. So I think there's an issue with the boot lock as well. It's showing it's closed at the minute, so we'll have a little look into that, but I think it might be the latch on that side. Let's get this clutch started. Just look at the weather, it's brightened right up. I probably could have done a clutch outside today, but I've got a unit, so I might as well use it. Right, so on to the actual clutch itself. Not too bad to do these. Battery and battery tray out. Airbox may be out just to give us a bit more space. And then we can go underneath and there's gear linkages and whatever down there. Wheel off, lower arms off, or not lower arms. Ball joint possibly off. Drive shafts out the way, up, everything underneath. And whilst we're under there, we're going to reseal the sump because that's leaking. So yeah, I won't film all of this, but I will maybe put you on a little time lapse because otherwise there'd be like 4 hours of film to get through, which nobody wants to see that. Anyway, let's go. Right, that's the battery tray and the airbox out of the way, so you can see now there's not much to take off here. Just got the gear selectors down there, a few bell housing bolts, and the mount is obviously there, which will come off last. And I think that would be pretty much it from this side, and some starter motor bolts this side. Hopefully they're all accessible, which they are. So yeah, let's get them out. I've skipped ahead and I've got the drive shafts out, ball joints out. I've just drained the gearbox oil into that. Most of the bell housing bolts are out. Clutch pipe is out. I decided to take the whole drive shaft out just because then it allowed me enough space to get in here. And then I think we are pretty much ready to come out now. There is just one bolt up here on the mount. That one just there somewhere. And then we'll support the engine and then lift it out. And that is one gearbox out, heavier than you think. And it kept on getting stuck on these little dowels. So it was quite difficult to get out. You can see all the heat spots on the flywheel, but we'll clean that up. And then, yeah, this is the clutch, very well worn. You can see down to the rivets. Right, box is back in, and it's just a case of putting everything back that came out. It's now dark out, so I don't want to be here too much longer, but I have got a wet belt up here tomorrow, which is already out there, but at some point I do have to drop this back too. So I'll get this finished. I think everything's done, barring the sump. I've got to do the sump, which I'll leave overnight. And yeah, might have a look at the door lock tomorrow, the boot lock, if I get a chance. Or if you don't want it back straight away in the morning, I can yeah, spend a bit of time on it. But I will show you once I'm finished putting everything back together and it all running and driving, hopefully. Right, see you in a minute. Right, I've made the decision to do the sump now. So this is advised as being leaking, which it is. It's a little bit crusty. Yeah, so I'm going to do this and then I think I'll call it a day. Come back in the morning, finish this off, drop it back to the customer, start the wet belt, and then yeah, that's all I've got on for tomorrow is the wet belt on the Peugeot. So right, executive decision time. I'm going to leave this sump because if I swing you around, it is quite crusty. Now, I was just tapping it on the side and there was no movement. I don't think this sump is reusable. So, I've just had a look and I can't get a sump. So, what I'm going to do is I've already put a new filter on it. It was getting a service anyway, so I'm going to put a new plug in it, clean it all up, and this car needs front pads and discs. This ball joint is knocking itself to pieces, so it will need some work in the not too distant future. So then we'll monitor how much oil it's lost and then go from there. So yeah, that's it for the day. We'll see you tomorrow. Right, it's the next morning and it's earlier than I'd like. Anybody that knows me knows I like LA in, but we've got to get things finished. So what's left? We've got the dog bone mount left, drive shaft and lower arms. Everything else pretty much is in. A few bits on the top, like the battery tray, and obviously the battery. Put some fresh oil in it, because I've already done the filter. Yeah, that's it. Then we'll be ready to drop this one back, and then start on the wet belt. Now, she did say to me on that wet belt, it seems to be misfiring. And I jumped in it last night to get it in the workshop and it was jerking around. Didn't feel like a misfire so much, but yeah, we'll have a look. And you'll see that on another video. So if you want to see how these wet belts are done, subscribe to the channel. And let's get on with this one. Get this done. And I'll see you in a bit. Right, everything is back together now. Just got to put the battery in. I did have to do a repair on the gear linkage. If I just get you zoomed in, down. So just down here, I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but these ball joints were seized into gear linkages. So what I've done as a temporary fix, which I used to do on the AA, is put a bit of this tape around the ball joint and just force it back on to the gear selector, and then I've just put a bit of tiger seal just to hold it all together a little bit as well. So yeah, I'll let the customer know about that one. It should do the job for now, to be honest, but it does need new linkages. Need to top up the oil. Oh, also bleeding the clutch, you've got this small reservoir, which, you know, it's not like the European style where you put it on and you put the pressure bleeder on, and there's a little valve just down here. So what you do is you take the clutch pipe out ever so slightly, it's like one notch, and then yeah, bleed it up that way. So I was inside pushing it with my hand or my foot, and then putting a lever bar rested against the clutch, coming back outside, draining a little bit out, and repeated that a few times. So hopefully we've got some drive. So yeah, let's get it started up and see if it drives. Well, after taking the battery off, there we go. Right, let's see if we have drive. Cool, that's not very good. Cool. That ain't good. Needs a bit more bleeding up, I think. Right, let's just have a look. Well, that's all good. It just needs bleeding up a bit more. Right, quick update. Clutch wasn't quite bled up enough, so I had to get Rich next door from the body shop to come in and give me a hand while he pumps the brake and I do the pipe. And then my van, obviously it's here. Car's gone. Car is out there. I couldn't start my van. I thought, oh, flat battery, got the jump leads on it. No. And then I soon realised, because obviously I've got an alarm system and whatever on this, immobiliser, tracker. I haven't got my little key tag with the chip in it to start it, so I had to ring the guy Nick from Auto Communications. You might know him. He's quite a big on Instagram. He's based in Essex. He does car alarms, ghosts, trackers, all that. He does all the he does all YouTubers and celebrities, and yeah, does dash cams as well. So if you're in the Essex area, I'll stick the details in the description, and if you need his services, give him a call. He covers quite a big area actually, but he's based in Essex, I think. But anyway, let's get this bloody car back to the customer. Then we've got to pick up a sump for that because it got delivered to the post office rather than my house. Oh, I'm so behind now. I'm glad I came in early. See you in a bit. The warning light is back on. So I think we've got a bit of an electrical issue here, because at certain times it will go back off again. It will flicker on and off. So yeah, I think we've got more issues there, unfortunately. But other than that, it is driving well. Well, as you can see, I'm back in the Range Rover. Car's all dropped off, and yeah, it's set me back a little bit, but I got out of the rain yesterday. That was the main thing. Yeah, so I stayed dry, made a couple of quid. Today's been delayed, but that's okay. The sun is out, and I hope you've all enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you want to see more repairs, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a little comment, share it with your friends, and I'll see you on the next one.